All right, here we are. It is Friday, and the PSA return is in. This is the October submission. It's finally back. Took a really long time. I can't believe how long it took, actually. Here we got the November submission back first. PSA October 24 submission returned. All right, and let's see. Pricing up, new slabs, live card shop. Okay, we're going to hit save. If there's one thing that's true about our channel, it's we go through a lot of slabs. We sell a lot of slabs. We offer a lot of slabs for sale. We have a huge variety of rare slabs. Let's go ahead and try and click on this. There we are. Click on this, and there we are. Very good. We have our comment section open. Shinobi, Squid, Marco, NHCC, and Alex Lopez haven't been here for a while. Is there a way to see what I all have? Says Mr. J. Hey, what's up, Mr. J? When you say you haven't been here in a while, what do you mean a while? You mean like a couple months ago? Or do you mean like, oops. Do you mean a couple months ago, or do you mean like a couple years ago? Like, what do you mean? Because after 1 year, the slabs are considered abandoned. We're going live for Friday. All right. And we'll post this here. PSA return is in. That means I've got to go make a ping in the PSA submissions channel. Let's scroll up here to PSA submitted. All right. Oh, no, PSA returns, actually. October 2024 submission has returned. Oops. Edit message. All right, good. So there it is. The PSA returns channel now shows the October link. Now, let's go open up the PSA submitted channel and find out what we're looking for, because the first thing we need to do is give everyone their cards, which will take up most of the time of the hour of the daytime stream. So that means we're going to have a real busy nighttime stream. Okay, so there were a couple upcharges. An upcharge is going to be about $15. It's Asuka, Blastoise, Teach Manga, Lightning Full Art, and Hello Kitty number 44. Those are the upcharges. They upcharged like half of the 10s in this submission, and the rest they didn't even hand a 10 out to. So PSA are being total jerkwads. I don't like them at all. I'm probably going to grade with other companies for a little while. Just take a break from PSA. Now, it looks like we have about 35 of the cards being yours, and I think there's about 150 cards on the table. So let's begin by trying to separate what's mine and what's yours out from each other. I also got these slabs coming back from eBay that I need to price up and show off. And these here, these are really cool. These are breaks. There's my new Dark Typhlosion with the big swirl. Check that out. Isn't that incredible? Wow. Got to work on that soon. Busy day. I just made a short letting people know that we got this giant return back. Less than a year. You should be good then. Why don't you send me like a penny message confirming who you are, and we can go looking for your thing. You can also just order shipping if you want. So, I got to know what's your guys and what's mine. Let's read through the list. Aiden May, Roaring Skies, Rayquaza. That's XY Rayquaza. Asuka, Topps Chrome, Marvel, Modoc, Y-Sphere and Signature, South Park logo, Blastoise Alt. That's Christopher Garcia with 2 Blastoise Alts. Danny Sainamora with 2 Topps checklists. Danny Sainamora with the Topps Sonic Hollow. James Wright with Nami, Topps Star Wars Leia Silver Border, Topps Star Wars Darth Maul. So Nami, Topps Star Wars, Topps Star Wars. Javier with Wanted Luffy poster, Manga Blackbeard. Kayla Ibarra with Dark Alakazam. That'll be hard to remember. Kip F with Lightning. Hunter Tipton with Topps Metazoo. Manuel Diaz, Impel Marvel Hulk. Mr. Muhammad Al-Shad with Sanji PRB1. NHCC with Magikarp. That got like a 7, dude. Reynaldo with the Poker Green Gengar. That got a 10. Tammy Lowe has Blau Party 004. 044, I mean. Pachaco Kuromi. Actually, it looks like this might be one of the Kuromis right here. Yep, that's a Tammy card confirmed. Set that over there. All right, Mewtwo Breakthrough for Todd Peters, and Jirachi Plasma Blast. Those did bad. Squirtle Base Set for Uriel Chavez, Mewtwo Hidden Fates, Lapras Spanish, and SpongeBob Tops. The SpongeBob got a 10, interestingly enough. All right, now I'm going to try and take everything that wasn't on that list out of here. It is mine. This might be Tammy's. Is this Tammy's? 053? No, that's mine. All right. This is Tammy's. Tammy, this one got an upcharge. How did this one get an upcharge? It's 044, right? This got an upcharge? Nah, PSA sucks ass, dude. Let's see. Mount Doom. This is Sanji. So this was somebody's. Dude, PSA sucks so much now. The way they sort the cards, too, when they send them back is so messy. Like, they don't want you to be able to easily open your thing in order. So annoying. Okay, new better roll at my job equals more Pokemon. Nice, dude. Nice. Glad to hear. Here's some Metazoo. Didn't we have some Metazoo? Yeah, just Mothman, though. So this must be mine. Here's the Jirachi. Copycat Call of Legends. That's definitely mine. Dude, I got killed on so many grades. It's really sad, actually, how bad these grades were. It's sad because not only were they not 10s, but they weren't even 9s. Like, they were just handed, like, look at this one. They hand out an 8 to this one, Heracross. That came straight out of a booster, dude. It's a nice card. How's this an 8? They want an 8 on that. Their grading standard has changed so dramatically in such a severe way. It's really sad. Okay, Sauron Dark Lord. That's definitely mine. Call of Legends, Munchlax. That's definitely mine. So I'm going to start stacking mine behind me. I am very disappointed in this return. I thought that the grades were very severe, more severe than normal. I've only been grading for 6 years, so that's my feeling on it. I could be wrong. You know, my opinion's just an opinion, but I feel like the grading standards gotten tougher. They actually announced that it was getting tougher, so that it all adds up. All right, hold on. So Mothman, what was the Loveland Frogman? He got a 9. That sucks. Okay, Fantby. It looks like I tried to grade some My Little Pony even. How crazy is that? Look at this Call of Legends Magikarp. Not good enough for this to be a 9. It's an 8, actually. That's an 8, bro. Bro, that's an 8. Wow. That's crazy. It's crazy. I wouldn't have even bothered sending it if I knew it was going to turn into an 8. They are so severe right now. It kind of makes you think. And by the way, when I actually sent this in, it wasn't their rule yet that they were going to be so severe. They changed the rule while it was in queue. And they just suddenly graded this, and clearly at the new, difficult standards. So I don't want to grade with PSA. It's ridiculous. Who are you going to grade with now? I'm definitely looking at tag grading, CGC grading, and Beckett. Beckett's my number 1 probably. Beckett grading is interesting to me because if PSA grading is going to be like pristine 10, why should I bother grading with that Squirtle base? Why should I bother grading with anyone other than Beckett? Because at least with Beckett, when the card is perfect, it's going to get that black label. And then when it's pristine, it gets the pristine, right? So it's definitely probably going to be Beckett. Here's that South Park logo. Somebody graded a South Park logo. Yeah, I'd say Beckett's the way right now. Very interested in Beckett grading. All right. Nidoran, they gave me all 8s. 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. Here's an 8. Here's an 8. All 8s. How many slabs are those? There's a lot of slabs. They gave me a couple 10s, okay? They gave me a couple, but it was obvious 10s, right? It was 10s on these cards that is like, well, yeah, of course that got a 10. All right, let's see. We've got, here is a Final Fantasy. Didn't somebody have a Final Fantasy in here? Tops, Mothman. I don't see it. I'm going to set it to the side anyway, so this one might be mine. Let's see. Lantern, Dark Magcargo, Reshiram, Infernape. The grading was so harsh that I am not interested in PSA grading so much because I don't value their 10s the way I value a pristine 10. I'd rather have a pristine. So if they want to bring the grading standard up to pristine, it's like, well, then your label needs to say pristine. You are. It reminds me of the VA, deny, never cough up. Was obviously right. Well, PSA had a softer... There was no doubt that when I got started with this back in the 4s and the 5s, PSA had a much lighter grading standard. And then they sort of tightened that up. I don't really think that was a problem. I don't know if that's somebody's... here's this. Oh, there's 2 Weiss Schwartz. Weird. Here's this. Here's Gengar. Here's a Topps Dragonair. Did anyone grade Topps Dragonair? I don't remember Topps Dragonair. No? All right. So anyways, when I got started, the grading standard was so clearly lower than it is now. Then they kind of tightened it up around 6 and 7. And it's like, I thought they hit sort of a sweet spot. I thought they were sort of like, their grading was serious. It was tough, but it wasn't like insanity. And one of the big reasons you graded with PSA was because they didn't grade as harshly as CGC. I'm sorry, well, CGC was a harsh grader when they started out too, actually, but they didn't grade as harshly as BGS. And now they grade, you know, as harsh as BGS, and you think to yourself, well, why don't I just do BGS then? I actually like BGS better if both companies were grading very harshly. Let me take a look at those Star Wars again. So we have some Star Wars Topps Leia silver border. Here's a Topps Leia here. I don't know if that's what that meant. That's a Top Leia. Soda. Whose is this? I think that might be mine. Some more of these Magic the Gathering Lord of the Rings cards. Put this back. Yeah, I'm very dissatisfied with the outcome here. Pristine CGC is equal to a PSA 10. You could probably argue that, especially now that PSA's grade is so severe. You could probably argue that PSA is basically just handing out pristines now. Yeah. I don't know what they were thinking. I think that was a dumb move by PSA. Yeah. Expedition. All right. Very good. You know, because if I really get very strict with which cards go to PSA, like only the best, only the pristines go to PSA. If I turn that way, I'm going to be looking at those cards going, why don't I just send those to Beckett? Seems like I could just send those to Beckett. And maybe one of them will turn into, you know, Black Label, right? And they'll actually say pristine on them. Here's a Roaring Skies Rayquaza. I'm just repeating myself. I'm on repeat. But you guys hear my message. This probably isn't mine. Find out if that's mine in a minute. Here are the Blastoises. We're supposed to be looking out for 2 of these, actually. I think that got a 9. I feel sorry for the guy, you know. All my Topps cards are 7s and 8s. 7s and 8s. All of them. Pointless. It's like I threw my money away. All right, here we are. We got a huge supply of 7 and 8s now. You know, it's crazy. I feel like cracking them all and then just sending them back to like CGC and seeing what happens. Because if CGC turns any of them into 9s, that's a major upgrade to go from 7 and 8 to 9. Here's a Rocket Zapdos. I think that one's mine. Trafalgar Law. Could this be one of your guys's? That one might be mine. Flareon. I didn't read somebody sent a Flareon. This is yours. Oh yeah, look at that Roaring Skies Rayquaza. A huge 7 coming out, guys. Look at that 7. Are you kidding me, dude? But maybe it's in bad condition. Let's take a quick look. It is true that the XY era cards were typically in bad condition. Let's take a quick look in the back. Yeah, I mean, I would call this like more like an 8 in the past. Look at that. It's got a white dot here, and it's got a little half dot up there. The centering's a little off. I would say in the past this would have been about an 8. Now it's a 7, and it's just like, all right, if you want to do that, you know, if you want people to lose value when they send you and your price is higher than ever too. Their price is so high. Oh, here we go. We got a Graveler graded 10. That's the one Topps card that graded 10. It was freaking Graveler, bro. Look at that, 7 on a non-holo. Wow, amazing. Oh, we got Geodude graded 10. All right, here's a Furin. Here's the Asuka card that had an upcharge. One of the Blastoise got a 10. Wait, that's 3 Blastoises. Is one of them mine as well? Here it is. Those are his. 12 and 11 are going to be his. So this one might be mine or it might be someone else's, but that one got a 9. So if that's mine, it got a 9. Ooh, hitting a 10 on one of the Lord of the Rings. You guys got to open Lord of the Rings, man. It's really good. So that is Mr. Danny Santamora, right? Yeah, he got a 10 on one of the checklists. That's really good. Here's Nami. Lovely. Oh, maybe that's why Nami... Was Nami one of the upcharges? No, Nami was not one of the upcharges. Here's Leia, Topps Leia with the silver. And there is Darth Maul getting 9 and 8. Pretty rough. There's the wanted poster. Sonic. Did I grade that or did you guys grade that? Here is Marshall D. Teach. That's your guys's. Here is Lightning. The Final Fantasy cards do tend to grade 10 all the time. Marvel Hulk. I think this one might be mine. I'll leave this up to you guys. Here's this Black Label MetaZoo. That's definitely you guys. 8s on all of these. Oops. Here's a 9, 7. Here's a 9, 8. Oh, yeah, I sent this in finally. I had this in my inventory for forever, dude. The film frame card. I actually sent this to PSA one time, and they rejected it. And so it sat in my inventory for a long time, and I finally sent it back in, and this time they graded it. Weird. That's from Topps the Movie 2000. It's an authentic film frame from the movie itself. How cool is that? Like a relic. All right, here we are. So I believe I've got mostly just your cards in this stack here, and we're ready to start busting through that. Feel free, by the way, to send in an order. We'll try to get this done fast. You can send in an order, and if you do that, you'll be in the front of the line, okay? Think about that. Front of the line. So here goes. For the October submission, let's get the Roaring Skies Rayquaza 105. Roaring Skies Rayquaza 105. That's 60, so that's not it. That might be mine then, this one right here. Let's get this out of here in case that one's mine, because I don't want to have to sort through them every time. All right. My Mothman 3.5 is back. I'll take the 9. Dude, 10, though, would have been so much better. I want 10s. Look at that. There's that Manga D Teach. That's pretty good. Let's set that to the side for a minute. Where did that? Is he at the very bottom? Oh, my God. He was at the very bottom of the pile. I'm so stupid. All right, so he was at the very bottom of the pile. Rayquaza, Roaring Skies. Stack these back up. Okay, that's Aiden May. Mr. Aiden? Do I have a packet of sleeves? I need a new packet of sleeves, it looks like. Everybody, give me a moment. I'm getting a packet of sleeves for us. I'll get 2 packets of sleeves. We need 2 of them. Took me a second there. I'm actually running low on these. Reminds you that even just having the supplies for a stream like this is not free. It all costs money. Are you picking up any Japanese 25th Classic Collection? That's a pretty cool set. I already have a lot of it. Here we are. I don't even know what's considered cheap right now. Here it is. Aiden May's taken care of. Alan Abale Asuka. All right, where's the Asuka? In here, perhaps? Mayhaps? Nope. Oh my gosh, it's at the very bottom. Here we are. Ugh. All right, that's an upcharge for that one. Well, shucks, I ain't never seen so many goddamn Charizards. The upcharges aren't too bad. They're all about $15. I have to actually look into it. I think it's about 15. Alan Abale. Not really too bad for 10. Actually, I do need to look into that number. I don't want to do it live. Brandon Warder, Topps Chrome Marvel MODOK, and the Weiss Freerin signature. Okay, did I see MODOK in this pile? Here's the MODOK. Weiss Freerin. All right. Do you plan to get the new Team Rocket set? No, I'm just going to skip that set. What do you think, Dennis? PSA did it wrong from the beginning. Now everything should be a 10. What are you saying? If you want a company to lower standards to please you with 10s, your card shouldn't really be 10, says James and Alanya. So the way it really works is no card is truly special I'm sorry, no card is truly perfect, right? Nothing's truly perfect. And so when you create a grading standard, what you really do is you're saying, what line does a card have to cross to go from on the on the edge of being a 10 to being a true 10? And so even right now, PSA allows some off-centering. Do you understand? And if a 10 was only cards that could pass as black label, there'd be almost no 10s in the market, right? There'd be like none. None of your vintage cards would be 10s. They'd all be 9s or worse. And so is that what you want? Do you want the standard to be everything needs to be a perfect 10? And then even then, many of the perfect 10s might not truly be perfect, right? Like, what does it mean to be perfect? So, no, what a grading company engages in is setting a standard that says, good enough. That's the standard. They set a standard. They say, okay, you're allowed this tiny flaw and that tiny flaw, and therefore it's still a 10. PSA has always had since the beginning of the last 6 years for me, they've always had a lighter standard where they say, you can get away with a little bit of off-centering and maybe a little bit of an edge problem. You know what I mean? And they have since made it so tight that it's now similar to BGS. BGS didn't blow up like PSA. PSA blew up because of their lighter standard. So if you think that I'm like, this one-off guy going, I prefer it the way it used to be, it's most people preferred what they had going on. Why change the secret patty formula if you're miles ahead of the competition? Why change it so much? So I think they're making a mistake. I think they should stick with the standard they had because their company blew up. They succeeded not on this current standard that just began this month. They succeeded on their previous standard. And so somebody at PSA is getting real, philosophical. He's like, nah, it should be nearly impossible to get a 10. I think that he's making a mistake. It redefines the company. And I already feel less encouraged to grade with PSA. I feel more interested in these other companies. CGC hands out pristines. Beckett hands out black labels. I think Tag's got a pristine. I'm pretty sure SGC has a pristine as well. What PSA refuses to do, they refuse to add a new standard called pristine. They don't want to do it. So they want to raise their grading standard to pristine, but they want to call it gem mint. And I think that is a huge mistake. Because I got cards like these really lovely Topps cards, and they were printed like 30 years ago, 25 years ago. They were printed 25 years ago, and they just had a different standard on the quality of the print. How are those supposed to grade 7 and 8 while like some stinky modern card gets a nice 10 because the grading standard, the printing standards were very different? How are you supposed to put them in the same category? It's not smart anyways. Because sometimes the 10s are relative to a time period or relative to a particular card set. Topps printing is very different from Pokemon TCG printing, for example. And those are the kind of conversations you have, to try and make a best setup or system, a best standard. It's a standard is what it is. So you have those conversations to create the best possible standard. I think they've gone too far in one direction. They've gone so severe that I don't see a reason to grade with them versus Beckett anymore. And Beckett does have black label. PSA does not have black label. So yeah, my perspective is they've made a mistake. Here's Danny, say no more. Will any old cards, pack fresh or not, be worthy of a 10? Exactly. If I open up these $1,000 booster packs and I have to decide between sending them to PSA and getting a definite 9 or sending them to Beckett and maybe getting their Gem Mint 10, I'm going to go to not Beckett, go to what I meant to say was CGC and get their Gem Mint 10. Guess what? Even if you don't like CGC Gem Mint 10s, it's still a smarter move to get the Gem Mint 10 than the PSA 9, because Gem Mint 10, by the way, sells for a lot more than a PSA 9. It just does. The CGC Gem Mint 10 is better than a PSA 9. That's the problem. Danny saying more. Top Sonic. Ooh, yeah. Sonic got the 7. I would rather have a collection full of CGC Gem Mint 10s than a collection full of PSA 9s. That's the problem for PSA. They're not going to get away with it. People are not going to go, yeah, I'd rather have PSA 9s. More worth to grade with Beckett with a chance at black label. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So you're going to see, I think you're going to see people rethinking. Oh, I think I smell food. I think you're going to see people rethinking whether they want to send all of their cards to PSA or not. All right. The whole reason that I sent my cards to PSA is because I'd have like a borderline card, and I say PSA has the slightly softer standard, and so they're going to get my borderline cards instead of CGC because I'd rather have a PSA 10 than a CGC 10. Now that it's definitely going to be PSA 9, I'm going to CGC because I'd rather have a CGC gem mint than a PSA 9. Blah, 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 blah. So this is James Wright, Mr. James Wright. Here you go, James. This is, it's a conversation to have. PSA standard was just in the sweet spot. Right after they got out of the 5s and they got into the 6s and 7s, they tightened it up a bit, and I felt like that was just right. Their gem mint was like in this position where it was tougher than the CGC gem mint, but it was easier than pristine. Does that make sense? So it was in this sweet spot. They got it just right. It was harder than a CGC gem mint, but it was easier than a pristine. Just right. Now they're like, nah, everything needs to be pristine. Bro, why would you do that? Is this the brutal submission? It is, and we're complaining about it, full stop. Let's see. Alexis is asking if EB is earn it. I'm going to say no. All right, there we go. Earn it Bruff. Alexis found a slab with a name on it that was just the initials EB. She doesn't know if it's yours or not. I don't know why it would say just EB on the back. Maybe that was someone's nickname. All right. Mr. wants those easy 10s. Here we are. All right. I want PSA to make sense. I want PSA's grading philosophy to be competitive. Because, again, this goes back to one of the biggest problems with PSA. They don't want to offer pristine 10. They don't want to offer perfect 10. They only want to offer gem mint 10. That's their fault. That's not my fault as a consumer. That's PSA's fault. So now they're going, oh, no, these other companies offer really tight grading with pristine 10s. We'll just raise our standard. It's like, all right, but now your gem mint's basically pristine, and your new gem mint grade is PSA 9. I don't want a 9. I'd rather have a Beckett 9.5. I'll go get a Beckett 9.5. That's way better. Beckett 9.5 for days, bro. James Wright. All right, James. Nah, it's a mistake. Companies make mistakes, you know. And I ain't here to glaze PSA. They're glazing him. They're glazing him. He's mid. He's mid and they're glazing him. If gem mint PSA 10 is equal to a pristine, they need to be labeled as pristine. Exactly. They need to say pristine on them. Exactly. Oh, I got to sneeze, dude. We got Javier Arroyo with the manga black beard and the Luffy wanted poster. Look at that. Now, that's an upcharge as well. Upcharge is Teach Manga. All right, Teach Manga is one of the upcharges. So I can't ship it to you until it's just a $15 difference. So I can't ship it to you until you pay that off. And but I know you will because it's very good luck. And you're going to make a lot of money on these two cards. You got 10s on both of them. Javier Arroyo. He's a big customer on this channel, so I'm very pleased with this. Look at this. Well, I'm pleased when anyone gets a 10 on our channel, whether you're a big customer or a small customer. But, you know, you like to see the guy who goes deep get his up comments, or whatever the word is. PSA made a huge mistake for brainwashing the community that cards don't deserve 10s, got 10s. No, I don't agree with that perspective. Again, like if you look at CGC, you got gem mint 10 and pristine 10, right? So they got this easily definable separation between a card with very sharp, nearly perfect details. Actually, since they have no perfect 10, some of their pristine 10s are perfect 10s. So I think that was a mistake for them not defining perfect 10s. They got rid of that. And then gem mint is like this card that it's a 10, but there's probably a flaw with it. And then Beckett does something similar. They got the 9.5 and the pristine 10. What does PSA got? They've got the pristine gem mint 10 and now the gem mint 9. It's worse. It's worse. Who's gonna prefer that? Only somebody who can't do business math. If you can't do business math, I can't help you. You got to be able to do the business math. And you can, talk about what you prefer as a consumer. You can be like, yeah, I hope it's as harsh as ever as a consumer. But we're talking from the perspective of people who have to make a choice to go grade the cards that you're going to consume. There it is. All right. You know, people used to say they really liked CGC's super harsh grading, but also you would send them a submission of cards and nothing graded 10. You'd be like, I don't like that. and so PSA just continued to rock and roll and take all the grades. PSA built their channel. They built their company off of the back of their older grading standard. They did not build their company off of the grading standard that they're applying today. And so if you're the leading company, why would you change the secret patty for the Krabby Patty secret formula? That's my argument. Why would you change the formula? Here's Dark Alakazam, not clever. But, you know, I don't think they're going to collapse or anything. I don't think PSA is going to go under. I can just say personally, I'm not going to grade as much with them. I'm going to go with Waymore Beckett. There we go. Waymore Beckett from this point on. If I got a card that looks pristine, it doesn't go to PSA anymore. It goes to Beckett. All right, let's see. Kip Lightning. Okay, Mr. Kip, you got a Lightning 41. Very nice. And Lightning Armpits. So the Lightning Armpits was an upcharge. How crazy is that? They didn't upcharge Tammy. Here it is. They didn't upcharge Tammy on hers, but they upcharged yours. So, I don't know. PSA just... And that's another thing, by the way, these stupid upcharges, man. Not only did PSA grade with this ridiculous standard, they punished us. They said, oh, your card did well, pay more money. That's another lousy thing. Who wants to do that? How lousy is that? PSA says, you can give us more money for that. That's lousy, dude. Yo, we're back. I knocked the camera over. Did you guys see up my nose? I guess I bumped it with my arm. My bad. I don't know why it muted. That's interesting. So I guess it mutes when it tips over. All right. 9s on those. Just awful, man. Really awful. Of course, I haven't looked into these. These might actually deserve 9s. Here we are. Hunter Tipton. That's the other thing. It's not just about failing to reach a 10. It's the fact that so many of these are coming back 7 instead of 8 or 8 instead of 9. They shoved the whole thing down. They shoved the whole thing down and they raised their cost of grading too. Not only paid, Matthew, a lot of the people doing market for tag are undisclosed owners or stakeholders. I'd love to be a stakeholder for tag grading right now. Their company is putting out very good looking slabs. They got a good thing going on over there. Okay, there's the Hulk holograph. Did I keep that over here? I think I did. All right, Hulk holograph. I like it. Tag grading, the fact that I can choose between all these different companies, SGC, tag grading, CGC, Beckett, that's a good thing. PSA having a monopoly on grading is a terrible thing because they'll get away with unbelievable prices if that happens. So there should be as much pressure as possible in the grading community to get lots and lots of grading companies competing with each other and eating market share from each other and pushing the price down in general. Sanji PRB1. Yeah, you don't want PSA to have a monopoly. It'll be stupid as hell, dude. All right, let's see. It'll be worse than it is now. Here we are. Social media is showing them all their imperfections on their PSA 10s. Even in your old submissions, you used to say some 9 should be 8. Listen, there's some cards that are clearly, like, what would you call them? They're clearly offenders in terms of being so wrongly graded. But that was based off of that standard then. So there's some cards that were so poorly graded back then, that's not an issue of their standards. That was an issue of having a bad grader. It's a totally different subject. So a bad grader got my card and graded it wrongly. That's a totally different subject. I wasn't disagreeing with their standard at the time. I was saying, how is this a 10? How did this guy let this slip through? But I was saying, how did he let it slip through? That's what I was saying. But also, I was making a point often in those videos. I was saying, you guys are so hypercritical of PSA's competitors because you'll like pick up a, I don't know, like a CGC 10 and you'll find a flaw in it. And I'm like, yeah, PSA does precisely the same thing. They do exactly the same thing. So it's like, how can you be critical of one company because they're new and PSA gets away with it in spades because they're the established brand? So I was just making a point that you can find mistakes in the PSA 10s, and then occasionally, you know, you have misgrades. And I think the misgrades go both ways too. Like I get PSA 9s that I go, this is so borderline, this probably could have been 10. That's how they got the 10 on the Trophy Pikachu, right? He just kept submitting it. And then one day it just passed. Which tells you a lot, by the way. Rigo, Birdo, Gil. Hey, mister, what's your opinion on people buffing damaged cards and hope to get a better grades? If they're able to get away with it, like if it works, then it works. And that's up to the companies to detect that and say, no, you can't do that. Look, they upcharged this, Tammy. This is an upcharge card. I don't understand. It's not even SSP or SP or BR. Doesn't make any sense. That is a standard. That is a standard RR. Doesn't make any sense. They upcharged that one. Just, or was it the Kurumi? Maybe they upcharged the Kuromi, and I'm getting it confused. I wrote down that it was this one that got upcharged. Maybe I read it wrong. It might have been this one, actually. It would make a lot of sense if this one got upcharged. By the way, look at her Kuromi. That one got a nice 10. But that's because it's a Weiss card. Weiss generally does grade 10. All right, you know what? It might have actually been this one that got the upcharge. I probably just wrote it down wrong. People making fake videos trying to slander Tag. Every grading company has had problems. I don't know if you guys remember, but PSA slabs used to crack pretty easy too. Especially PSA booster pack holders could crack like without even trying. And all they do is they just adjust their machine and then the problem goes away. It's not a big deal. So Tag had that happen. And then when it happened to Tag, they did not do PR correctly on that. They handled the PR very poorly. So that's their fault for doing the PR poorly. But, you know, a problem like slabs that need to be encapsulated longer, that is not a difficult fix. That is something they could fix overnight. So it's something they can adjust very quickly. Also, you know, just you grade a lot of cards and sometimes it doesn't work right. It's, you know, it's not like a, you know, it's not like making a computer chip. It's a little bit of a messy thing, a little bit. Encapsulation. I know more about encapsulations because I've done 10,000 of them in our little company ourselves. And, you know, and I did the first 2,000 myself. Yeah, encapsulation is not like this perfect science where it's like the plastic perfectly blends into itself. It just doesn't work that way. You have to experiment with it. All right, and then, you know, you might encapsulate like 1,000 of them, and one of them might be a little wonky and break easier. It's just how it is. And so, you know, if you can't hold the whole company hostage because one of the slabs cracked. But they basically just need to increase their encapsulation time. That's all they need to do. It's an easy fix. So when I saw that happen with Tag, it didn't really bother me. It's just, you know, they probably just need to adjust it. It's not a big deal. You guys are making a you know, mountain out of a anthill. That's the term, I think. Mountain out of an anthill. Molehill? Mountain out of a molehill? It's mountain out of a molehill. That's the term. So here we are. We've got Todd Peters. Mr. Todd waited so long for these just to come back and be 8 and 7. So rough, dude. Look at that. They couldn't be nice enough to give it even a 9. They're like, nah, that's an 8. And this one gets to be a 7, dude. Look at that. Look at the front of the card. Does that scream 7 to you? Let's see the back of the card. Oh, yeah. I'm seeing 7s for days. No way, dude. I'm not grading with PSA. I'm going to grade with other companies for a while. I'm taking a break. I need a break from PSA. Very disappointed with that. Uriel Squirtle Base 63. Here it is. This one's a 8 as well. Do you guys want to zoom on this one? Let's get a zoom going. This is an 8. Okay. Look, you tilt that. Well, they didn't like the little curve on the edge. Is that what it is? They don't like a little curve? That's a little white dot. Oh, no, that's on the... Oh, that's not even a white dot. That's an 8, everybody. Welcome to the new reality with PSA. That's an 8. That's not even a 9. That's an 8. Yeah, right, dude. That says to me time to take a break because they got to figure their stuff out. Uriel Chavez. crack that and send it with another company and watch it come back 9 at least. And there's a big difference in value between 8 and 9. All right, he also needs Mewtwo, Hidden Fates, Lapras Spanish. Let's see. Here it is. And Spongebabadoo. Also, we missed one, didn't we? Where'd the Reynaldo Salazar? We missed one. We the Salazar over here, and this guy over here. My bad, guys. We missed 2 of them, so these 2 need to be done. Did we miss any others? Hold on, let me see. No, it doesn't look like it. Just those 2 then. So this is mine, and this is mine, and I guess this must be mine, and this is definitely mine, and this must be mine. Tag slabs look fugly, says Rigo Rockstar. That's very subjective. You know, some people don't like SGC slabs, and some people do like them, for example. But you know what? There's somebody out there who really likes them. And I think one of the reasons you saw tag grading explode in popularity is because in a very organic way, people decided, whoa, I like that clean, minimalistic look of the tag slab. I think that was it. It's like they just kind of came out of nowhere. They're just like, boom, everyone was talking about them all of a sudden. That's organic. That just happened overnight. There were no ads. I didn't get ads for it. It didn't get pumped by like Logan Paul or something like that. So they're in a very lucky, envious position in the grading world where their slabs kind of went viral because they have this nice minimalistic work. Everyone debates red label, black label, blue label, SGC black border, frosted, not frosted, clear. Tag said for our label, let's not even have one. No label, just a little bit of etching. It worked. It worked. It caught people's attention. You don't hear people talking about any of the other small grading companies. So they're in the best position for a small grading company. They're at the top of the pack for the small grading companies. They might be taking a market share right now from all the big guys. I don't have a problem with them. Like I said, I graded with them. I don't have a problem with them. I don't always like their grades. Crack my Magikarp 7. Is this yours? You might deserve a 7. Let's take a quick look at it, shall we? So, let's see. You got white dot there. You got dot there. You got a print line here. So he might deserve 7. When it comes to modern cards, those actually are sometimes very hard to grade 10. That's why this Magikarp gets so expensive. I mean, you could argue maybe this should be about an 8, but you could probably make a case for it to be a 7. But I knew about this Magikarp being a tough one ahead of time. But I'm gonna leave it in there. I'm gonna let you crack it at home. Okay, it's 43 minutes in, and we haven't taken any orders, so I got to get to that. The Gengar, a very good 10 on the Gengar. So Mr. Reynaldo is going to get about $300 or $350 of value from this one Gengar. So he's a big winner in this submission. Reynaldo Salazar. And there it is. It's done. So now I've got my slabs. You know, it's interesting. This one didn't get upcharged, and it should have been. That one didn't get upcharged. The upcharges are Asuka Signature, Blastoise Alt, Teach Manga, Lightning Full Art, and Hello Kitty. I wrote down 044. I bet it's the Kurumi that got upcharged, not the 044. But or maybe they made a clerical mistake and meant to upcharge the SP. Is it an SP or SSP? All right, because I can see that Kurumi being very expensive, sure. All right, I'm moving these down to the shipping area. Not down, but just over here. All right, I got my drink here. Bring my drinky over. Get my drinky on. All right. Blah, blah, blah. Cardconomist complains for 40 minutes about tough grading. Welcome to our Pokemon card live stream. All right. So, it says I got a payment from Google. I get an ad revenue payment from Google every month. How cool is that? I got a refund from eBay. Oh yeah, I found a card and it was like underpriced. And every time I find a card that's underpriced, they always do that. They cancel it. Ethan Barnes, can I have a pack of One Piece OP11 in my bag shipped? It should have a signed card in it. Yes, one pack of OP11. and my bag shipped. Okay. Just grade with Asmer. I know Zach is memeing. Tag also has pristine. It competes with black labels. Yeah, so the fact that they have a pristine grade as well, it's what every company's doing except for PSA. The problem is solved if PSA just offers a pristine grade. Then they can apply the really tough standard to the pristine and still have their gem mint hold on to the old grading standard that made their company famous. They don't want to do that. It's like, all right, feel free to lose market share because that's what's coming. You had a formula that worked for you and made you very popular. Now you're changing it. And it's not going to end well, in my opinion. Here we are. For example, I already know most PSA 10s were at the old standard, and only ones after, like, you know, after this number 10, only those are going to actually apply the new standard. And I know when I buy PSA 10 after that point, it's going to be a tough PSA 10, sure. And maybe I'm willing to pay a little more for that, but I'm not willing to grade with them. Not interested. Ethan Barnes. So, like, as a consumer, I'll consider it. It's just like, it's exactly like Beckett. It's like people want the black labels, but they don't want to be the one to have to grade them. Ethan Barnes with the B. I'm going to go look into PayPal for this address. Start making a pristine label after 100 million subs. Yeah, they all they had to do was create a pristine label. That's all they had to do. And instead they said, nah, we'll just make our 9s the new gem mint and our 10s the new pristine. But nobody wants to collect a PSA 9. They all want 10s, always. Everyone always wants a 10. Even if it's a flawed 10, they always prefer the 10. All right, here it is, Ethan Barnes. Tag 10 harder than PSA 10 in my opinion, says Icy Slush. Yeah, I did know. Oh, Ethan Barnes is shipping to the UK. Okay, hold on here. So Ethan Barnes, your bag is definitely too heavy. Your bag is definitely too heavy for the $20 shipment. This is definitely a $40 shipment. I also need to know if you have any slabs, but that's a big fat bag. If you have no slabs at all, and if you were to drop all of your hollows like this, let's see how it does. That might be within 4 ounces. So if you drop all these hollows, we could probably do $20, okay? I don't know if he's here. Is he here watching? I'm going to send him a penny message, okay, guys? Let me send him a penny message. I miss my Cougar Melody. Yeah. I do have a couple 10s in the return that I got, so I'll be showing those off soon. Let's see. All right, let me issue a penny refund. There it is. So the shipping's a bit heavier for this one just because it's a pretty heavy bag with all these hollows in it. It's the solid block. Never forget that cards are made out of cardboard and cardboard is made out of wood. So when you're looking at a block like this, that's a substantial heavy block. What we need is, for $20, it needs to be a 4-ounce shipment. 4 ounces is very light. This is about 4 ounces right here. This is 4 ounces, these two slabs. All right, so by PSA's new standards, everyone should pick up all the new cert PSA 9s, crack them, and grade with other companies. That's actually an interesting thought. You could do that. I think there's an opportunity to do that. Robert Tumman says, shipping for my slabs and petite bag. Mr. Robert Tumman, he wants some shipping. You ordered shipping at the wrong time. I got to say, all of the shipping is done early in the day on a Friday. So your stuff will be going out on Monday, okay? Just so you know. Anyone ordering shipping today, you'll see your stuff depart on Monday. But then again, you might be shipping just because of the return. I don't know if you're in it. He's probably in the return. You must be excited to get your cards back. I know I would be. Charizard 151, a long-term hold and a 10? Sure. Been fighting off some kind of sinus cold the past week. I'm going to start a grading company and we'll never give out any 10s. Okay, we're hitting print. Yeah, I'm in. I want 9s and under, only sending a tag. I don't know if I would only send a tag, but my perspective, my conclusion, since I'm only going to be interested in sending pristines to PSA for the 10s, I'm really going to just send those pristines off to Beckett and try for black label, because the black label is so valuable. And whereas PSA 10s are not in that same value range. They refuse to make a pristine label. They refuse to make a perfect label. Here's Andy Dirksen, 1 box of Korean Tara Festival. Thanks, I have multiple bags or maybe a box. All right, so these have been very popular, these Korean Tara Festivals. People are loving these, selling them very quickly. We're almost done with our first out of 3 cases. PSA slabs make babies cry. Tag slabs make your bald spots disappear. What? What's the price for grading for Beckett? So here's the crazy part, Candy Babe. It's the same price. PSA and Beckett are the same price. It's not like Beckett is way more expensive. Beckett and PSA grade the same price. So yeah, it's going to be Beckett grading. For me anyways. I'm making American Tag again. I don't mind 9s, but there's no reason for them to be grading the way that they've been grading. If PSA mentions that they're backing off of their strict grading, I will be more interested in grading with them again. But so there's these cards. I call them borderline cards. I send my borderline cards to PSA. That's the trick. You send your borderline cards to PSA. And so I do big submissions with borderline cards in them. I'm going to be sending my borderline cards probably to CGC now to try for the CGC 9.5 and the CGC Gem Mint. Because I'd rather have a CGC Gem Mint than a PSA 9. That's just how you extract value out of cards. That's how you do it. You have to make these conclusions. As for tag grading is like a nice backup company for like, if you got too many cards to grade and you don't want to wait 4 months for your cards to come back because, you know, well, if we sent that in October, how long ago was that? 6 months? So we waited a half year for that submission to come back. So if you don't want to wait 6 months for your cards to come back, maybe a company like Tag's a little faster. I think CGC is not terribly slow either, though, is the funny thing. Of course, SGC is extremely fast. But I do feel like SGC Slab makes it much harder to sell their cards. So I don't know what it is about the ooh, you got a Master Ball. I don't know what it is about the SGC Slab, but people just do not gravitate toward it the same way they do with other companies. I buy SGC Slabs all the time. In fact, I find great deals with the SGC Slabs, but other people do not want it. And so I'm aware of that when I buy them. But, you know, I feel safe with them because I know that those cards could potentially cross-grade because SGC, they're not handing out easy 10s either. So when you get that SGC Gem Mint 10, it's typically a high-quality card that you're buying. And if you're getting it like half price, you might as well just go for it. But, you know, why would you want to grade with SGC if you know you're going to have to sell around half price? So that's the problem for SGC. SGC is straggling, in my opinion. And I thought PSA was going to make some changes to their company maybe, but they don't appear to be. You got Cobalion, Andy Dirksen, Cobalion. All right, I have multiple bags or maybe a box. This is Andy Dirksen. Let's go looking for that. So SGC is sort of a last option for me. What I like about SGC is they have an extremely fast turnaround time. Typically for them is like 1 week. That's pretty good. So, and that's not without having to pay express pricing. Because if you go to PSA, they're going to charge you express pricing for that. SGC is just standard pricing. But there's a reason why it's so fast. It's not because they figured out a trick that no other company has. The reason it's so fast is because they're not getting the same grading volume. So they don't get the same volume of grades, and therefore their grading's much faster. So, you know, if you want to cut the line and get your cards back faster, SGC grading makes sense from that perspective. But then you might have to accept a lower price on the cards when you go to sell them. Or, you know, maybe not a lower price, but just a slower sell-through rate. So you just have to sit there and wait for them longer. Coin break taking forever. Now, to be fair, all the breaks are taking a lot longer. Yesterday, we finished the Dark Artillery break, but all the breaks have been taking longer. All right, I found you. Andy Dirksen, you do have 2 bags. Here they are. 2 fat bags. I like a guy with a really fat bag. Honestly, this bag's so large, it could be a 3rd bag. Like this. All right. I don't know where I want to keep you. How full is this? Is this really full? Here's the AN box up top. Oh, that's a super expired bag. Why do people abandon their bags? I don't know why they do that. Okay, let's move these down here, and then we'll move these up here. I don't know why they do that. Here's this. Here's an Andrew Zhang, and that's expired. That says 224 on it. That's expired. All right, so this will go down here. That's how expired bag gets repoed right there. It's like we're trying to make room on the table for somebody who's actually over here and they're actually active. We find out your bag's been here for over a year. Matthew, tag goes more in depth than subgrades. Yeah, the fact that tag grading carefully shows you how your card failed to grade, people are finding a lot of value in that, which tells you there was demand for that. All right. Okay. And tag just automatically does that. They don't like charge you more for it. Like every card you grade, they require that basically, which means they got a really efficient setup. If you think about it, their setup has to be so efficient for that. They probably got nice software they're using where the grader has to submit information, and the information's already highlighted by a grading assistant tool. Andrew Mercer, so if my packages don't make it back to you, what are we going to do about it? Since technically it's your fault for not sending them to the correct address. Sorry for all this, but I just want my Captain Pikachu. How's it going, Andrew Mercer? We have to wait for it, okay? So the card draw on the way back is what your neighbor said, right? You said your neighbor got your card sent back. And as for addresses, if you have a change in address, you have to tell me. But I don't know if you did. Maybe you did. But I'm willing to work around it with you and try to get you your missing cards probably. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to fault, I don't think there's any like clearly defined rules about fault. But I always say this. I say that if you have a change in address, you have to tell me. He might have told me. Let's see, did you say? So when you asked for shipping on 3/7/25, you didn't mention there was a change in address. It's very important you do that, okay? If you're grading with PSA and you have a change in address, you have to tell them. Same with CGC, same with virtually all of them. So be careful, guys. If you have a change in address, you got to tell me there's a change in address. But besides that, Andrew, I'll probably help you out, man. It doesn't matter. We'll figure it out. But, you know, let's give it more time, because if it's on the way back, then it's on the way back. What you should do is you should, well, actually, I wonder if the tracking number currently for the item would say that it's being sent back. Let me just check that real fast. And if it's not saying that, why don't you ask them to, here we are, let's see. Actually, I don't know if it matters, like asking them for a tracking number. Let's just see if their tracking number is saying it's updated. Yes, it is up to you guys to let me know that you have a change in address. That is how it is. So this is the one, it says delivered. Hold on, let me look into it. When was that shipment? Andrew Mercer on 3/7, right? Andrew Mercer says this one was shipped on 2/16. Hold on, let me look. Oh, did you ship a second time? Is that the deal? And then let's see. So you must have shipped a second time. That must be what I'm looking at. Hold on. Let me zoom back further then. Oh, there it is. So it was actually on 2/15, and you said ship that Pikachu. And once again, there was no actual warning about the change in address. So either way, that is correct. There was no warning about it. But let me jump over here. Let's see if the tracking says it's coming back. So the tracking only says delivered in app mailbox, and it was delivered on February 24th. Do you have their number? I could call them if you want. Maybe you can give me their number. I don't know if that's appropriate, but I don't mind calling them. The tracking number on it does not say that it has changed, and we know that it went to their home. Oops. I don't think they steal your cards. How much was actually in the package? Was there a whole lot of stuff? So it's soon. We also want to know when you called them, so we know how much time to wait for before we start maybe getting a little more aggressive. Because what I would do is, if it's pretty clear it hasn't been mailed, I would start, telling them like, hey, we know you haven't shipped it. But I don't get aggressive with them right away. You gotta be nice with them at the start. Alex Silva, hey, Mr. May, I have 3 of the 1989 Nintendo tattoo packs. The tattoo packs? Damn, I don't even know where those are. Let's see, tattoo packs. Ah, there they are. Yeah, the rules are you definitely need to let me know if you have a change in address. 1, 2, and 3. Very nice. What mail service does PSA use to return cards? Sometimes it fluctuates. They'll use UPS, they'll use FedEx. They never use USPS though. Here they are. Okay, that's for Alex Silva. Okay. Alexis Allura. Alex Silva. I have a bag, he says. Where at? Is it way up here? Is it this one way up here? Can't believe somebody bought this. I'm shocked. Okay, you're not in this box. Oh, there's a second AL box. Here it is. Found it. USPS is awful. I have horrible luck receiving stuff. In this case, nothing went wrong, except that it got shipped to his old address that was saved in our address book. So when you order shipping, and you've shipped with us before, we use your default shipping is what we do. So your default shipping becomes whatever we shipped to you last with. So be sure if you move, be sure to update your PayPal. You have to update it. And then you also have to tell us that you've got a different PayPal address if we've got it saved from a long time ago. Is all right. I do not see it. You said you got a bag, Alex Silva? You sure you don't have like a box? All right, it'll take you too long. I'm creating a new bag for you. New bag time. You must have a box or something, right? There are. Okay. I've had USPS try and throw packages over a gate. I've really? Jesus. They can be annoying sometimes. Sometimes it looks like they intentionally don't pick our packages up, so that's annoying. We'll start saying 425 on these. All right, Alex Silva, new bag. Currently, USPS is still shipping my cards, mister. They're running late. Yeah, USPS, that's the government's product, the government's service, USPS. And people are always talking about how it needs to be privatized or something, like it's not ran that well. It's when bureaucrats ultimately are in charge of holding on to a business, they don't do as good of a job as a private sector where you can make billions of dollars and you get your position because of fierce competition, as opposed to what? I got elected into this position because people liked me because I was nicer. You know what I mean? Like, it's two very different crowds. And so is it really a surprise that the bureaucracy doesn't produce as good of a business? Not really. All right, we're looking for Brandon Warder, who is finally ready to ship. Oh no, Brandon, I repoed all your cards. Let's see. Carl appreciates it. Here's the order for shipping. Here's a list of stuff I had. So let's see. Brandon Lower. Brandon Warden. That says Brandon Warden. That's not you, right? Here's a Brandon Gonzalez. That looks like it could be Brandon Warder. Brandon Gonzalez. Here's this box over here. I believe there's a box with my stuff. Oh, okay. Well, we're going to check all these boxes anyways, just to make sure that we don't miss any loose bags. Here's a Brandon Boutillier. Haven't heard from him in a while. Beatty Kicks. Brian Foucault. And a Brian Anderson, who has a very expired 124 bag. So that says Brandon Warden. And it's got a bunch of, well, that's cute. It's got a bunch of random stuff in it. So that's what that looks like. Warden might not be the same person. That might be a different person, okay? So let me go looking for your box now. You said you had a box, so I'm going to go looking for that instead. Oh, I see a Brandon Warder box right there. We're good. This is expired. Oh, finally. These have been here so long, dude. Here they are. We're actually going to convert them into a different box. All right. I don't see anything else. Let's grab one of these. No? Yeah, here we are. Let's grab one of these. Let's put your name on it. Might need to warn Alexis if there's a Brandon Warden. I don't know, actually. That could be your bag over there. You know, I think I'm going to go into PayPal, guys, and look up Brandon Warden to make sure that that was a separate guy, because I have a suspicion it might be this guy. And I simply wrote an N rather than an R. So give me a moment. A lot of shipping because we have this PSA return. So this is very common for PSA return days to have a lot of shipping in them because people want their slabs back now. About to take my sick, feverish ass to the mailbox. Warden. All right, let's take a quick look for Warden. Okay, it says nothing for Warden. Warder. I think that was him. I think I did a cursive R and it looks like an N. Yeah, it's not finding any Brandon Wardens, just Brandon Warder. So that's got to be him. Let's go grab that bag again. I think it was in this box. Was it in this box, I think? It would also make sense that that bag existed because your box, your private box, was full all the way. So we probably had a loose bag for you going on. That's probably what was going on. And here it is. All right. Brandon, if this isn't yours, I'm relying on you to return it. But I didn't see a Brandon Warden. I only saw a Brandon Warder. All right. So, and it's consistent with what you were buying. I saw freer in that bag. All right. Let's get you shipping. Take a quick look at this. You sent me a pending message last night about shipping increase. I messaged you on Discord. Just let me know how much to send to you. If you're shipping international, you probably sent me 20, and it probably needed 40. If it was already 40, then it probably needed 80. I actually can't remember what it was, but that's how it goes. So if it was 20, it probably needed 40. Okay, we're jumping over here. Looks like we're shipping to you for the first time in a while. Mr. Carl, that means he's here from 4 or 5 or 6 years ago because those were the old nicknames. All right, yeah, this is quite heavy. Okay. And what did you have in your submission? Was it a super expensive card? Okay. Not sure how big my one bag was. James and Alanya. You're James Gower, I think, aren't you? James Gower. There it is, James Gower. That's quite heavy. So that's too heavy for 4 ounces. Also, if you had additional slabs, that adds to the weight. There it is. So that one will be a... there it goes. So that one will be a $40 shipment. Yes, it's 3 flat rates for international, 20, 40, and 80. 20, 40, and 80. NHCC, I'm a Gemini. So I was ordering some food. All right, so we got the Brandon Warder. That was actually just my PayPal name before PayPal made me identify myself. That's so funny, dude. So it was a fake name. It was an alias. That's funny. Brandon finally shipping out. Does it feel good, Brandon? You saved $9. Shipping only one time. Was it worth it? Hunter Tipton 2 Hidden Hope. Final Fantasy and shipping on my cards. I should have a very small bag with 2 slabs from the return. Okay. Welcome, Hunter Tipton. How did you feel about your grades? Did you get good grades on yours? I complained a lot that whole time, but man, I felt bad for all the people who were missing their grades. All right. My father was a professional chef. He taught me from a young age. Yeah, my dad really liked cooking too, actually. I still like cooking. Here's a Lily. Thanks for the order of cards, Mr. Hunter. In my 5 to 6 years, I believe I've shipped 2 to 3 times. Really? It's funny. All right, that's Hunter Tipton. We've got a new thing we're offering in our Discord server where we take a picture of all your slabs. Speaking of which, I need to do that for La Flame stuff. I can't believe I'm so behind, man. I can't keep up. Like today, the schedule was so tight. I woke up, I worked on a piece of content. I got the Monster Hunter stream done, and then I made a piece of content, and then we went live over here. And now it's 6 p.m. I'm supposed to go hang out with Karis. And then I just go live again tonight, later tonight. I go live at, I'm supposed to get up at about 12 and go live. And so I either give up that time with her, which is between 6:30, basically like 6:30 and 11 and 12. What is that, like 4 or 5 hours, maybe, tops? So I give up that time either with her to go do these other things or, so it's a trade-off. And then when I go live, we're done by like 5:30. And then my new trick is I just go to bed right away. Okay, that's Hunter with an H. Hunter. That's the new trick. That's what I've been doing lately. It's been working too. I wake up earlier now. And that time is getting slotted for Monster Hunter. So we're getting our Monster Hunter streams in. That's about 2 hours a day that I used to have and that I just don't have now. Yes, all right. Thank you, Hunter Tipton. All right. Can I buy Moonbryon behind Cam? This one? Yeah, he's only $40. What? Can you see my chats? Yes, I can. All right, Hunter Tipton. Speaking of which, for all the people who are shipping right now, don't forget, if you updated your address, if you moved, you need to warn me, okay? I don't want to ship these slabs to the wrong address. On the image PSA took of my 3 to 5 Mothman, it looked like hairs were in the slab. Hope they were on the outside. No way, it's 40. He's only 40. People just don't want him anymore. Yeah, nobody here wants him. He's only 40. So let's rotate this. Here we go. We got Ghastly. I don't want anyone to see this $40 Umbreon for sale. I'm going to hide him. Here's Squirtle. Here's Rapidash and a Lantern. I can't wait to start pricing up some of my slabs from the return. I haven't had a chance to do that. Stamps has encountered a problem. Why is Stamps always encountering a problem? Can anyone explain that? Mister, can you sell me some Monster Hunter cards or what? Right, I've got Monster Hunter cards to grade. I gotta open those up, make a video out of it. I'm gonna post the video probably on both channels. It's just another thing I gotta do, you know? Oh my God, stop. Stop, this software's so bad, dude. Someday I'm gonna kick myself and go get better software already. Where do you stream Monster Hunter? On my other YouTube channel, TheCardconomist. That's 130,000 subscribers on the other channel. It's actually bigger than this channel. Only problem is it's kind of a dead channel because I stopped posting over there for like 6 years. So, but we got a little group going watching us when we go live. We're getting about 60 people watching. So we got a little group going, and if I'm consistent, that group will grow. I know how it works. All right. I know those people kept my cards because they told me what was inside the package. Plus, if they did return it, the tracking would have updated. And I've tried talking to them, but they won't answer me anymore. It's not a neighbor. They just happen to live near my work. I just want my Captain Chinese Pikachu. I don't care about the rest. We got to try harder to get those cards back from them. Can you have me contact them, perhaps? I know those people kept my cards because they told me what was inside the package. Plus, if they did return it, the tracking would update. And I've tried talking to them, but they won't answer me. It's not a neighbor. In other words, you moved far away from that spot is what you're saying, right? They just happen to live near my work. I mean, if they contacted you and they know what's inside the package, that it's illegal to keep people's mail like that, especially something of value. We need to actually get in contact with them. So the first thing I would do, if you could give me their number, I'll call them too. And the second thing I'll do is I'd probably send them a letter. I'd be like, we know you got the cards. We can see the tracking. They got to be returned, or there's got to be something done about this, so because it's too much money. So we got to try a little harder than that before we just cash you out, okay? So let's try a little bit harder and try and get those cards back. People don't want to mess around with having to, talk to police or something about a missing package. That's a federal offense, opening mail, exactly. So, Peter Fenelty, 1 Pokebra, 1 poker. All right, here you go. 1 poker. Here goes. Oh, yeah, the blue deck. And 1 Pokebra. The Pokebras have been updated and upgraded. They work exactly like the Poke Shuffle now, except for ungraded Pokemon cards. Do you have a Crown Zenith cards? 1, 2, 3. I do, actually. It's on the extended menu. I have a big round of Crown Zenith that came in the other day. Ooh, you got a perfectly cold pack. Just like the Poke Shuffle can give you a perfectly cold card. And this is Star U. Peter Fenelty. Sorry, Peter, this time not so hot. Not your best. Let's try it maybe the next time, okay? What time is it? We hour and 15 minutes? Wow, we got a nice full hour stream in. Yeah, we got to fight them a little more than that. We can't just give them the cards up so easily. The cards are not free at all. They're very expensive. And so I'm not interested in paying out the cards until we put up a fight and try to get those cards back properly. Here it is. Here's Melody. Melody? More like Momedy. Yeah, I insist we fight them over it and put up a good fight. Let's see. Miss Alexis left the Ernet Bruff shipment for me to look over just in case. And then let's go over here. PSA 10. Melons 244. She's making pancakes with like a coat on. I don't think that makes any sense. So you're going to like this. The Melanie card is not expensive at all, actually. It's very affordable. You'd think it'd be a nice, expensive card because of how nice it looks. It's got pancakes. She's got boobs. But this card is only $44. Very affordable. If you are collecting nice Pokemon card trainer cards and you think they might be undervalued at the moment, this would be a good one to pick up, especially with how tight grading is getting and how expensive grading is getting. This might be an easy pickup at $44 because it only needs to go to, it's about $70 to be worth it. It needs to go up in price to $70. All right, and then let's see what we got over here. We've got Trafalgar Law. Ooh, look at that. Melanie is cooking Pokemon if you look closely. Is she? Got something going on there. Oh, she's got a little snom right there. That's cool. It's not a Pokemon, but it's in the shape of a snom. Oh my God, that's Beckett Black Label. It could have been. You never know. Could have been Beckett Black Label. We didn't test it for that. Instead, we let PSA put their 10 on it. And it's nothing but a Gem Mint 10. And yet their grading standard was so harsh. Trafalgar Law. Leader card. I think it's called a leader card, isn't it? Let's go ahead and filter this. Okay. Here it is. Wow, 134. Is that right? 130 for Trafalgar Law. That's pretty impressive, actually. I probably didn't even know what I had when I sent him or where I got him from. I might have gotten this from LaFlame. I'm not sure. LaFlame sold me. At one point, he sold me back some of his B-tier cards. Cards that are not like major hits, but, you know, they're worth something. Better put the date on this. Okay, there's Trafalgar Law. Okay, we have another message with Andrew Mercer. Now, Andrew Mercer, remember, you can actually contact me through email. I don't know what PayPal will do if you keep doing this penny message. They might not like it. So be sure to look for TheCardconomist at gmail.com, and we can get this email chain going. I think that's going to be a smarter way to communicate. So get that Gmail chain. I went to the apartment. I don't have their phone number, so I can give you the address, but I doubt it will do anything. What do you want from my end? I can give you my phone number, email, so we don't have to talk like this. Oh, yeah, the same idea. So what I can do is send them a letter, and you can send them a letter as well. We have the tracking number. We know where it went. It needs to get returned, and it does say delivered. So you said you talked to them? Well, you went to the apartment, and they talked to you, but they didn't give you the package right then and there? That's very strange. And also, I think we need to wait a couple more days in case they really did return it, because I don't know how returns work. The tracking number might be deactivated. So it might be on its way back, and we just don't know it. And that maybe they procrastinated on sending it back because it's not a big deal to them. So it might be on the way back, and we don't want to beat them up and then just receive it the next day. You know what I mean? That's not good. So let's wait for it to return. We're going to give it a few more days, maybe one last week, and then we can start contacting them. All right. You have to have patience in this situation, but, you know, it's somewhere. The card exists, and they're not allowed to just take the card and say, okay, it's our card now. We should put up a stinky fight and be like, we know you have it. We have the tracking number, and we're willing to make this very messy. You don't want to make it messy with this. It will be no fun for you. All right, here's Hello Kitty. Do you recommend buying an old poker set in the near future to play the card game? That's brilliant. I would definitely consider doing that with a used deck. Maybe get a red-green use deck, and you can play some Pokemon Poker with the actual poker cards. Or whatever you play, solitaire. I don't know what people play. In Japan, they're called trump cards. But, you know, Pokemon Trump doesn't probably doesn't sell as well as Pokemon Poker. Pokemon Poker's sexy, you know, sexy and sells good. So this is PSA 10. Weiss. Hello Kitty. Blau Party. Long hair, beard era with Mr. WSS Crazy. Looked like Mr. from back in the day. Yeah, I had longer hair at one point. This guy's so weird. He, the way he posts his slabs for sale is very strange. So I don't have, let me check sold maybe. I don't have any data on these cards still. There doesn't seem to be like a defined market. So this is the only thing I can say about the Hello Kitty cards. Like, here's a Hello Kitty in the drink, and it was $87 with $6. It's $87 with $6 shipping, but they marked it down from there. So I don't know, maybe $85. Okay. All right. So there we go. I think that's fair enough. Okay, NHCC, give me that curvy kitchen waifu. I think that's a great price. It's a girl card. It's got food involved in it. It's like an alt art. You know, I think that's smart. If you just sit on this for a long time, maybe a couple of years, and see if that price jumps from 44 to like, I don't know, like 74. Because if you do that, that's like doubling your money almost. That's a solid purchase. That's what I was saying when I was pricing it up. That one seems pretty cheap at 44. Peter Founty, one more Pokebruh. The last one hurt. All right. Come on, baby, make it hurt so good. Here's a Pokebruh. 1, 2, 3. And a 1. The old name for this was the Pokebruh. Right now we're calling them custom modern packs. You got Galarian Slowking and Crobat. So this is a cold pack. That's what a cold pack can look like. A hot pack can have cards valued between $40 and $100 in the booster. Here's Peter Fenelty. But in order for that to work, there's got to be some cold packs, just like if you're opening regular boosters. So this is like if you open 2 booster packs, one of them pulled Galarian Slowking V, and the other one pulled Golbat. So you just open 2 cold booster packs. Boosters. What's fun about the Pokebruhs is there can be all kinds of interesting stuff in there, like a lot of promos can go in there. And so I have a lot more flexibility with what can go in there compared to like Pokemon regular sealed products. All right. It's 6:10. We're at 1 hour and 23 minutes into the stream. It's very late. All right, let's take a quick look at this. So this is a lovely card. This is a Wave 4 Blastoise. It got an 8 rather than a 9. I would have liked for it to get a 9. I just would have. Let's see what the flaw is. You ready? It is such a nice looking card. It really is. You know, I can detect tiny little speckles there. Very light speckles. If we zoom in, I'll show you what I mean. So some of those speckles, like on the cannon and the arms, that can occur from sticking from the previous card. But I can tell you with no doubt at all that many of the PSA 10s that I've ever received back, they passed that. They passed that by having some, you know, speckling on it, and it's still graded 10. And so, you know, this is such a nice, clean-looking Blastoise. All I can think is that I just want to crack this and send it to another company. That's all I can think. And because if this grades 10 by some lucky chance, I mean, it goes from being worth like $40 to like $400. And so taking a $15 shot with another company is totally worth it. This is going to say crack on it. Now, if it upgrades from 8 to 9, it's still worth it. A 9 is so much more valuable than an 8 that it's still worth trying to get the 9. And so this is the problem with this submission. It's so harsh that there's no point keeping these in those holders. Like, look at this one. This one got a nice 7. Let's take a quick look at that. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so what's going on with this card is it's got a problem up there in the upper left-hand corner. We've seen this with a lot of the Topps cards. Now, I had a lot of Topps cards like this in the previous submission that got 8s, but this one's got a 7. And that appears to be the one significant problem on the card. And they said, you know what, that's a 7 now. How? The last one was an 8, but this one's a 7. And it's just, I know I'm nitpicking, but it's like, it really matters, the difference between a 7 and an 8. And if I were to crack this and send this off to a different company, would they just kind of overlook it and say like, well, that's the grading, or that's the manufacturing process. That's the manufacturing process. That's not damage from an owner. The card graded that way because that's how it prints. That's the normal way that it prints. All right. So we got a lot of Topps cards to consider cracking and regrading, but this one got a nice 10. Look at that. So there's a smooth 10. There's no rays on this one. This is a smooth silver 10. Look at that. Very shiny. Crazy, huh? But it's Geodude. All right. Chensek Vong says, for the Hollow Shuffle, you got it. Lucky, I suppose, that the Geodude graded 10, because if he got a 7, 8, or 9, we're not going to try to regrade him. He's not valuable enough. A Blastoise is valuable enough that you would retest it. So you sent $20. These are $5 each. So you need 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here you are, Chensek Vaughn. Notice those Nintendo packs went into a new bag. I should definitely have a bag. I placed a large Halo pack order 2 days ago. Was it a large order? That's right, you did. And so I wonder if we made a box for you is what happened. We'll definitely get them combined. Have no fear. We'll get those combined. We might have to do that tonight, though, okay, because we're running out of time here. I think we're going to wrap up right after this. We've got Jiggly 7. That's a very solid card. The Jiggly 7, it's a low grade, but it's an unusually desirable card that rarely grades 10 anyways. So this is the Southern Island collection, and it's just such a nice collection. You actually forget it exists. This collection came out during the Neo period. Right now, PSA has a PSA 10 Southern Island holographic English Mew of mine, and they are reviewing it to see if it's authentic. It's really sad. I bought it, and the code had been, the cert had been deactivated, so we don't know if it's authentic. So I hope it is. I'll tune in the nighttime stream. Wait, I'm in the night watch. Yes, you probably don't get that joke. Nobody here understands that joke because it's so obscure. All right. What's this? There is all the money that PSA took from me to get that October submission in. Well, guys, we had a nice daytime stream. I have a lot of cards to price up for you guys in the nighttime stream. I hope you're there. It's the Friday nighttime stream. I wouldn't miss it for the world. Before we go, guess a number between 1 and 20. If you're still here, guess a number between 1 and 20 right away. Since we're having a problem with Andrew Mercer's shipment, I should say, I'm going to put him on here for free. Because if he is lucky and wins it, that's going to go a long way. Okay, so we're going to put him on there to give him a chance. And then here goes. Landing on 7. Who was the first person with 7? Crazy KR appears to be the first person with 7. Crazy KR. All right, it's all yours, man. Don't worry, we'll take care of you, Mr. Andrew, but we got to fight for those cards first. I don't want to give up so quickly. That's a meaningful amount of money those cards are. I don't want to just hand out, you know, like, oh, yeah, here, just burn through the money. We got to fight those guys. Make sure we do our best to try and get it back from them. So they just need more time, and then if it's still not returned after a while, we need to send them a letter and say, like, we know you have them. There's no doubt that you have them. I got the 2 clear Master Chief. I kept buying if you want some. Can't go wrong for 6 packs. 6 packs at $25. All right, mark that on red. All right, I believe we're all done for the daytime stream. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Again, we'll be live for the nighttime stream, and we have a lot of slabs to show off. Not only do I have all of my slabs that just returned from PSA, I got slabs that came in the mail, too. I'm just overflowing with slabs. I've got so many freaking slabs, guys. So we'll be here tonight. I'll see you there.